That's interesting. Actors in the sense of those who act, those who acted in life. Not we. I mean, we have so compartmentalized our lives that we think of actors are people on the stage rather than people who act.
Yes.
In life. It's interesting to think of that stage of the development of theater and realize that there is no reason that you still should not come from a theater having learned something, having been better prepared for the struggle you will face the next morning. I'm sure one of the benefits of the telling of the story is that the young who have not yet hunted but will someday, they see the dance, they see the performance, and so much of training is repetition and familiarity, so that when you have to, you know, look on the radar screen and push a button, you know what you're doing. You've simulated so many times. At that same time, when the tiger is leaping at you, you've seen that tiger before. This is not the first time that image has come at you.
Yeah, that you should use that word repetition. Bearing in mind, yes, but the theater is not a repetition of life. It is not a duplication of life. It is a heightening of life. It is an enhancement of life. It's taking life into a further dimension. And I think that is what intrigues them. The actor coming in, he's asked not to. It's like if you indulge in emotions, try to get too clinical, too technical in portraying a character, you become self-indulgent on stage. You are almost trying to repeat life as it is. It cannot. I think the French Impressionists taught us that as painters. They were the old masters who were practically duplicating life as they saw it, objects as they saw them. The Impressionists freed us from it. Like I believe Laurence Olivier freed us from speechifying Shakespeare. He talked Shakespeare. He put it on a completely different plane. He gave it body, flesh, blood, which is far more understandable, comprehend. It was possible to comprehend it a whole lot better than when you had somebody sitting out there and declaiming the thing.
When you realize it is a script.
Yes.
And we look at the classics, the Greek dramas and Shakespeare and Molière, and sometimes we can stiffen them up so much by over-respecting them instead of looking at them as actors and realize Shakespeare did that. He threw in scenes. He happened to have one has the sense, for example, when he resurrected the character of Falstaff, the crowd was eating this guy up. He just had to do a sequel, you know. And there is so much wonderful theater in those scripts.
Yeah, I think, let me at this point take you back to Sri Lanka, from where I come, where we have Tennessee Williams in translation. And Tennessee Williams works so well in Sinhalese translation. Streetcar Named Desire, for which I designed the back. Gosh, it works so well in an Asian context. So did Death of a Salesman, Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller's Crucible, Bertolt Brecht. The Asian languages deriving out of Sanskrit and Pali in themselves are very lyrical languages. And so Shakespeare lends itself very well in translation. And the epic stuff of Arthur Miller, A Crucible, lends itself. Bertolt Brecht's Mother Courage, Bertolt Brecht's The Caucasian Chalk Circle, really lend themselves well. And it is understood and appreciated in a whole different lingual context in designs. And here's a whole different audience, an Asian audience, appreciating a Western playwright.
That would be fascinating to just see the production.
Yes.
And the audience.
It's like, I believe, a couple of years ago, Arthur Miller went across to China to direct Death of a Salesman himself in China, and the production was highly appreciated there.